Alright, and welcome back to another lesson. So actually this is a continuation of the previous lesson that taught you how to import or how to create your scanner object by importing the scanner class and for accepting user inputs. So this time, if you notice, we've been dealing with numerical data for variables that are declared integers, right? So what if we are going to deal with different data? Let's say, for example, a name, right? Or how about a grade that is in floating value format, or even a symbol, right? So also, we can do it with scanner class. Alright, so for the sake of example, let me just erase everything here, including the scanner class. And I just want to let you know that source code must be written once again inside our main method. Alright, so let's say, for example, we want to catch the name of our user. Alright, so in order for us to catch the name of our user, we will be needing a variable that will catch a string data. So let's say, for example, string name. So let's say, for example, my name is Richard. So this is how I usually do it, right? If I already know my name, obviously, and then I'm going to use the statement print line in order to display the name, right? So let's just say, let's concatenate a message here. My name is something like that. So let's click build and run. So what if his name or the user's name is not Richard, right? We got the output here. So it's going to be unfair if we are to call everyone else as Richard, right? So that's where we're going to utilize our scanner class. So since I already added the import statement here to import our scanner class, all that's left to do is to create the object of our scanner class. And since the name of our user is not Richard, so let's just leave it blank there. Let's just declare this variable, right? So let's create the object scanner. Let's just name it scanner if you want to, but for the sake of example, let's not call it scanner this time. Let's just call it console, and then we assign the keyword new scanner open close parentheses and system.in. So by the way, you just really need to memorize this syntax of the constructor. Scanner, capital letter S because it is a class, and then S for the system, which is a class as well, and in, which is one of the properties available for this system class. So you just need to memorize this syntax. All right, and then we already prepared the variables. All right, so this time I want to do it differently. So I don't want to prepare the variable because I want to assign it together with the object right away. So I want to show it like this. So let's give our prompt for our user. Let's say, for example, what is your name? And then the next part that will follow is the part in which we're going to catch the input coming from our user, right? So we can declare string here and then the name, and we can assign here using the console, which is the instance of our scanner class. And this time we are to use the method next string. Alright, oops, there's no next string, my bad, next line alright. But I just want you to know, as for catching string, there are two of these methods you can use. Actually, you can use the next and the next line. So the first one I shown you is the next line method. So this method accepts white spaces. So if the person has two names, let's say for example John Mark, the name John Mark has two names, right? So this function next line, this method will capture the name that has white space or white spaces in between. Alright, so to show you, let's just click build and run our source code here. What is your name? So my name is John Mark. Let's say for example John Mark, right? So my name is John Mark. Alright, so that is if you're using the next line function here, method so functions and methods are the same words actually, they are often interchangeably used, but for Java, it is appropriate to call this as methods. So next line method. So what if we are going to use the next method only? So let's see. Let's click build and run. So by the way, let's be careful with this comment here because it might be misleading for our viewers. So let's say, for example, let's enter the same name, John Mark, right? And if you notice, the user got as an output, my name is John, and the mark here has been dropped. That is because there is a white space in between, and this dot next method doesn't accept any white spaces. Alright, so for the names and for appropriately accepting names that have spaces or white spaces, the proper thing to do is to use next line instead. Alright, if in any case you want to accept character, alright, just like a blood type, for example, A, B, C. Is there a blood type in C? Alright, let's just say a letter grade, by the way. Now, we can ask the grade first, maybe, of our user. So for example, what was your grade? What was your grade in programming? Then, since as per our school, we use real number format in giving grades, wherein we still include the decimal values. Therefore, I will be needing float here. So the my grade, and then we can just utilize still the same object, but this time instead of using next or next line or next int, we are to use next float. Alright, so in short, my point here is that you need to be careful with the data type of your variable, because this data type will also determine which method to use for our object. And this time, since this variable uses float, being declared as float variable, so therefore I'm going to use this dot next float method, which is one of the predefined methods available for our scanner object. So this is our scanner class, and console is the object of our scanner, and we are using it, alright, as assigned to this variable, and we are utilizing once again the predefined method in order for it to catch the data we need. Alright, so let's give another output statement here. So my grade is then we are to call the identifier of our grade, right? And in addition, we can also add here the letter grade for the character. So for example, what was the letter grade? What was the letter grade? Right, so the letter grade of the grade given. So let's say, for example, so this time we can declare character, my let's just say letter grade, and equal sign. We can still use the same object, console, but this time we are to do it differently. We are to use the next function, and also we are to add another method here, char at semicolon, and we put 0 here, indicating that the first character that is being entered will be captured and then will be stored here in this variable, which is declared character. So you just need to memorize the syntax. Actually, just memorize the syntax for this part, because we use this to capture character input, right? So, and then my letter grade here, let's put a prompt here. The letter grade is, then let's call the identifier letter grade, concatenate it with our string. Alright, click build, and then let's run our code. Okay, so what is your name? So my name is Richard Kupel. Just click enter. What was your grade in programming? So my programming grade was, let's just say 3.0. I just passed. So what was the letter grade? So the letter grade for that one is F. Right, so my name is Richard Kupal, my grade is 3.0, and the letter grade is letter F. Alright, so I just hope you learned something good in this video. You just really need to realize that the function, or I mean the method that you are going to use with your object, this is your object, right? And you're using your object as assignment to different variables, right? And the method you're going to use for them will depend on what type of data is your variable, right? So what type of data has been declared for your variable. So since this one is a string, then we use that next line method, and since this one is a float, then we use next float, but we are using the same object. Look at it. And then letter grade here is declared as a character. We are using the same object, and this time we created we used the next method function and also the dot char at method. Alright, so method and function, by the way, I use it often interchangeably, so pardon me about that. I guess that's the end for in today's video, and see you in the next episode. So by the way, don't forget to like, follow and subscribe so that you will be notified to our new uploads. Have a nice day. Goodbye for now.